Today I'm going to show you how one e-com store achieved a 10-to-1 ROI on their SEO campaign. I'm going to show you what we did exactly to achieve it. So basically their entire SEO strategy at a high level, how much they invest into SEO to achieve those results, how much did their business value grow from achieving this result, the main lessons learned, and number 5, how can you find out if this is replicable in your specific niche. So let's get straight to it. So first of all, about the client themselves. They are a e-com store selling high-ticket products. So I can't name their specific niche to protect the clients, because if I share the specifics openly here, it's quite easy for their competitors to just watch this video and replicate the success. So I want to protect the client. I want to make sure that they keep these rankings and that they grow from here, not just on Google, but also on all the AI search engines. So just why I'm going to show you some examples here. But all the examples are based on what we did, and they're really similar to the client's niche and to the specifics. So again, like they're e-com store selling high-ticket products. So outdoor pools, for example, this is a high-ticket product. Outdoor pools costs anywhere between $5,000 to multiple tens of thousands of dollars. And our clients' products typically range between a couple $1,000s to $10,000 to $15,000 as well. So as you can see here in this example, outdoor pools, they cost anywhere around $20,000, $30,000, $40K. So it's a high-ticket niche, and this is an important part of it. So the problem they had was that they wanted to sell in United Kingdom directly, because up to this point, they had been selling in the United Kingdom through distribution partners. But the problem with that was that the distribution partners, all they did was selling and marketing. They were focused on it, and they invested all their money into selling and marketing. And by doing that, they had built a moat. So the distributors had a moat. They had done 3 to 5 years of marketing and SEO, and were so far ahead of our clients. So it was really hard for our client to compete, because they were starting from zero. The website, when they came to us, was 4 or 5 months old. But we liked the idea, we liked the challenge. Basically, they came to us asking like, hey, can you help us beat our distributors? Because they wanted to outrank them. So we got to work. And as our starting position, as you can see here, we started in August 2024, where their organic traffic was around 1,000 visitors in the United Kingdom with their new website, which they started in 4 or 5 months before we started working with them. And basically all of this traffic that they were receiving came from branded searches. So people already knowing about their brand, the people that were searching for their brand specifically. There were almost nobody finding them from Google or AI that did not know about them. And this is the main job of SEO. If somebody's doing SEO or AIO for you, what they need to do is to help you generate traffic among people that don't already know you, because branded search doesn't really matter. If somebody's typing in the brand name, like somebody's typing in Nike, they already know about the brand, and it's not the SEO's doing. Whereas if somebody's searching for running shoes and then they find Nike, then it's the SEO's job. So we were basically starting from zero. And now where we're at, 2 years later, almost 2 years later, is we are around 20,000 organic visitors according to Ahrefs here. And this is a seasonal business, meaning that they don't sell that many, or people don't search for the product that much in the summer. But it's almost a 20x increase in terms of organic traffic, monthly organic traffic. Also, their market they wanted to target was the United Kingdom, and this is where 97.7% of the traffic is now coming from. And the second thing, if you remember, I mentioned that before they had almost all of the traffic was branded traffic only. So the branded traffic has remained about the same, about 1,000, but the traffic that we have built on top of it is non-branded, so people that don't already know about their brand, and most of it is commercial and transactional. Here are also a few numbers from their Google Analytics 4. So this is June 2026, and from organic search, they achieved over £36,000 worth of revenue, and organic shopping added around 7.5K to it. And I'm not even showing AI numbers here. These are reported separately, and right now in this niche, AI isn't playing that big of a role just yet, although it's growing. So in aggregate, it's around £44,000 in organic revenue, or revenue from SEO. And as you can see, it translates to $58,000, and they are paying us around $5,000 a month right now. They just increased the spend because they are happy with the results. They want to grow even more. But yeah, thus far, based on last month, the ROI is 10-to-1. But this is just where we are right now. And keep in mind, we started from almost from zero. And looking at these numbers, like looking at the rear view mirror, it's not as important as looking into the future, whereas the results keep on growing, they keep on compounding. So the power of SEO that most people don't think about is that, like if you look at these numbers here, the blue bars are what they have been paying us. So in June, they increased the budget a little bit from 5K to 8K. But the red bars here is how much revenue from organic traffic they are getting, or they have been getting. And these bars keep on going up and up. Of course, there's seasonality here, but still the numbers are really promising, and they have already achieved a 10-to-1 ROI. So this is the monthly revenue versus monthly SEO investment. Now here you can see the same numbers in a cumulative way. So in aggregate, the red area here shows their total SEO investment. So it's a little under £100,000. And the blue area here shows how much cumulative revenue they have made from SEO. And it keeps growing. This is until now. But based on some campaigns we have seen, based on a lot of data we have monitored, if they were to, or if somebody were to, like if they already did some SEO work and they have achieved results like you see here, and then they stopped doing SEO. So on this graph here, on this longer graph, we are in July right now. The last full month was June 2020. So let's say they stopped doing SEO here. They stopped investing into SEO. They tell us that, hey guys, let's pause, let's cancel. Like our clients can do that with a 2 weeks notice. They can just fire us or put us on a hold. And usually what ends up happening is that if you have done SEO, you've done ramp up SEO, the results will usually continue to increase around, depending on how much you did, but around 5 to 10% per month. So in this graph, I have assumed a 3% growth for the next 6 months. Then I have assumed a 6-month stall out period where the results are basically going to grow for 6 months at 3% per month, then stall out or be flat for the next 6 months, and then start dropping 3% per month for the next 2 years. Because if you don't do anything, your competitors are going to go past you. But it's going to be a slow process. You're still going to retain your rankings for a long time. So this is the power of SEO. We're still working on the campaign and probably the results are going to be way more exponential than what you see here. This is if they were to stop doing SEO. But this is the power of SEO. This is where the compounding comes from. If you stop doing paid ads, the results drop to 0 straight away. But with SEO, like even if you stop doing it, it will usually grow for a little longer, then flatten out and then start declining slowly. Not like a dropping from a cliff like it is with paid ads. Of course, paid ads is necessary. But that's the power of SEO that most people do not consider, do not think about. And if you remember our last case study, these graph here, because we had been working with them for over 4 years, the numbers were way more exponential. And also one thing that most people also do not consider is the increase in company value. So up to this point, based on last month, let's say the client is getting 500,000 a year from SEO, in addition to what they were getting before working or investing into SEO. And let's say 50% of it is gross margin. That means they're on aggregate already, they're getting 250K a year in extra profit from this channel that they weren't using before. And with an average evaluation of companies of their size, it's around like people, or if somebody were to buy their business, usually they pay 5 times annual profit. So if they manage to increase their annual profit by 250,000 times 5, it means that they have added over 1.25 million pounds in company value from doing the SEO that they've done so far. And remember, they have invested less than 100K into SEO up to this point, which has enabled them to increase their company value, but also they have earned recurring revenue or monthly revenue, monthly sales from doing this SEO. What did we do exactly? And here's Kaiti. She's our CEO. She also is the project manager for this particular client. The first thing we did was that we started with an audit. Is SEO even worth doing? Because this client came to us through word of mouth. There was a paid ads expert that recommended them to us, said that we specialize in e-commerce SEO and they want to grow in UK. We have many clients in the United Kingdom. They referred us to us, and regardless of being referred, we don't take on clients if we don't think that we can help them. So that's why we start with a free audit. And what we do is we if you're interested, you can also request this free audit from us. You just have to go to redbat.agency/audit and fill this in. And what we will do is, we only can do 20 of these per month. So in any given month, if these have already been taken, then you can try again the next month. So that's why it's like, if you're interested, you should hurry. But what we want to see is SEO even worth doing in the particular niche the client is in. Should we even bother doing SEO? Because we are interested in long-term collaborations. We're looking for win-win situations. And if SEO isn't worth doing, then we don't want to waste the client's time. And we don't say that, but actually we don't want to waste our time either. So we don't want to do SEO in niches where it's not worth doing, so that we start doing it and the client, like in 2 months, 3 months, is going to say, hey, where are the results? Like, why isn't anything happening? And we don't want to be embarrassed and say that, sorry, it's just not worth doing, or just to come up with some excuses. Instead, we want to analyze, is it worth doing? Is SEO worth doing? Can we see that we can realistically achieve a 10-to-1 ROI for this particular business in a reasonable amount of time? And usually it takes at least a year to achieve 10-to-1 ROI, but it starts to compound from that there. So this is required. And we did this audit for them as well. And what we found was that they were selling high ticket products. So this is a plus. Those products have high search volumes, another plus. And we saw competitors with tens of thousands in monthly organic traffic. So this was, again, a huge plus or a huge pro. And the client had enough budget to invest. Our minimums are usually 2,500 or 2.5K a month, and they started with 5K a month. So that was enough to make or to do some real damage in this niche. The minuses were that the niche was quite high competition because it was high ticket, or the niche is high ticket. Competitors weren't sleeping on it either. And another huge minus was that the website was quite new. It was only 4 or 5 months old. It's much easier to do SEO for websites that have been around for a few years, but still, it's still doable. So the pros were way bigger than the cons. And that's why we said, yeah, we can definitely help you. The second thing we did was we did a thorough round of keyword research. Also did a low-hanging fruit analysis, and this was based on the niche and competitors. So what it really means in human terms is that we looked at all possible keywords, or what are all possible ways that people are finding their competitors, or what are the keywords, how many people are searching for those keywords, and which ones are the most lucrative. So in this case, in this example, let's say we're after hot tubs. So we're trying to look at all possible hot tubs or hot tub related keywords that people are searching, and then we want to map out Does the client already have pages, dedicated landing pages, dedicated category or product pages targeting those high traffic keywords? So in this case, the first obvious example is hot tubs. Does the client already have a hot tub page? If yes, we will optimize that page. We will build backlinks to it. If not, we will build that page. So the first thing is hot tubs. Most businesses have collection pages for the main keywords, but they do not have collection pages or any landing pages for the longer tail keywords like small hot tubs or jacuzzi hot tubs or even 4-person LED inflatable hot tub. So this might be a keyword that doesn't get that much search volume, although it has 1900 here, which is quite significant, or you might think that it's not worth going after. But if a hot tub costs thousands of dollars, it's definitely worth going after. And usually the competition is not as high for these kinds of longer tail, longer phrases. And that also applies for AI optimization as well. And then one of the parts of the strategy is looking at the competitors. How much traffic are our competitors getting to their most important landing pages? So one of the competitors was hottub.com, for example. This is just an example. This is not directly our client or our client's competitors, but just for this example, let's say hottub.com was one of their competitors. And we see that one of their landing pages is getting 24,500 visitors every month. So this shows us huge potential. If you remember before, our client had like around 1,000 organic visitors to their entire website, but now we see that this competitor is getting almost 25,000 visitors to one landing page. And then we also want to see who are the other competitors, or who are the competitors of our client's competitors, and how much traffic they're getting. You can see here there are different competitors in the hot tub niche, how much traffic they're getting per month. And we also look at TR, how strong is the authority of these pages. And we first start from looking at the lowest TR, so the smallest brands that are getting a lot of traffic. These are the most interesting, because if small brands, new brands are getting a lot of traffic, then usually they're getting a lot of traffic for easy keywords. And we start from the lower hanging fruit opportunities first, and then we start compounding to go after the harder and harder to rank keywords. Because if you start from the harder to rank keywords, you might get tired, you might lose motivation to go after those keywords, because it will take you in sometimes years to rank number one for those keywords. Because competitors have done so much work, they're so far ahead. So instead, you go after the easier keywords where you can rank in a couple of months. So you can see the gains, you can see the revenue coming in, and then you have more confidence to go after the harder to rank keyword. Then we also go and look through all of your competitors' top pages. So what are the pages that your competitors have, how much traffic these pages are getting, and which keywords are these targeting? Because we can learn from them. They have already done the work, and we can hack or shortcut our learning by not having to create a ton of pages and seeing which ones works, but we can see which competitors' pages are working and then just do the same for us and make them better optimized, do better SEO optimization, do better AI, build more backlinks, build better backlinks. Here's another competitor in the hot tub niche. They are a content site. They have only 135 pages, but they're getting almost 120,000 visitors every month. Have a low DR, a low authority. They're doing a lot of best X for Y type of keywords. So this is something we could learn from. We could see that in this niche, best pool vacuum, best above ground pools, best in-ground pools, these kinds of keywords work really well. You need to write blog articles, and then this is what we're going to do as well, because then we can write best in-ground pools article, for example, for our client as well. And people will find that article if we rank number one, and they would see that we list our client's product as number one, maybe even number 1, 2, and 3. Of course, we always have to be honest. And then the blog article could also act like a sales page, basically, even though it's a blog article. And like I said about, we help them create new collection pages based on keyword research. So if you find a keyword, like for example, in this case, cold tubs, like they have this cold tubs page here in the main menu. Then if we were to find a keyword like that, we will help the client create this page. We will create the page for the client, SEO optimize the page so that it has the highest odds of ranking, because many competitors will have cold tub pages. Probably are hundreds of cold tub pages. We need to do something special to help them rank number one for that particular keyword. So SEO optimization comes first, the on-page optimization. We also optimize their existing landing pages, so the pages they already had, and we use a tool called Survey SEO to do that. It gives us a number of terms, it gives us a lot of information. Here's just a screenshot of how I'm using it on our own agency website, e-commerce SEO agency, and it gives us a lot of terms that we need to add, include. Sometimes we have too many, like you see here, technical SEO, we have included 5 times, but the average is 1 to 3 times, so we should remove a couple of instances of this keyword. And so you can't put too many of the same keyword. What keywords are semantically relevant? 540 keywords that Google knows, or the tool knows that Google is taking into account. So there's a lot of analysis and optimization work that's needed to be done with the most important pages. Basically, you need to do it with all the pages, but given the resources, given how much budget we have to spend, we start from the most important pages. We also helped our client improve their site structure. So if you have an important category page, let's say hot tubs is super important, you need to put it as the first thing, if possible, to the main menu. If cold tubs is important, you can also add it to the main menu. And also, if you're adding new categories, let's say we do the keyword research and we find that a lot of people are searching for 4 people hot tubs, or 4-person hot tubs, then you need to create dedicated landing pages for 4-person hot tubs. Because if people are searching for it, you will have the highest odds of ranking if you have a dedicated collection page that includes hot tubs that can fit 4 people. Also same for all kinds of ways people are searching. You need to generate these collection pages and you need to add them to the main menus and to the home page as well if possible. Also, we did the boring stuff as well, so guided and helped fix all technical SEO errors. Usually technical SEO is overrated, but in some cases we can find some errors that are really holding back the client's results. But in this case, there weren't that many issues to fix, which is almost always the case. Then, as I said before, we created some blog articles with high odds of generating actual purchases for the client. So it's not worth doing blog articles where people just come, they have an interesting question or they have a question about the niche that you are selling your products in, and you don't want to just write random blog articles that have no odds or super low odds of somebody actually buying your products. You want to make sure that the blog articles you write can actually earn their keep. So if you pay, I don't know, if you invest like $100, $200, maybe $50 if you're using a lot of AI to create one blog article, it's still a lot of work. And to put it up, to put the images in the blog article, to add internal links, to keep it on the blog itself, because it's taking some real estate on the site. You don't want to just add useless crap to your website. So you need to make the blog articles work. They need to do something. They need to have high odds of converting readers or question askers, potential buyers, to actually buy your products. So you could do a lot of this best X for Y type of keywords, best above ground pool vacuum, best above ground pool pump, like if you sell these products. And you can also do, I just put a pool into our keyword research tool and looked for similar keywords, and it found over 140,000 keywords that are ready to pool. Then you can start looking for questions only. So there's 1.7 million people asking questions around pool, topics ready to pool. It's not all swimming pools, sometimes it's Cash App or some random stuff, but that's why you need a human or proper AI systems to figure out like what are the keywords that could earn you actual money if somebody were to search those and find your product pages. Or even if they ask AI and AI gives them the snippet answer. And then if now the person got their answer, let's say they're asking how much does an in-ground pool cost? And you have an article that talks about it, and somebody types into ChatGPT, ChatGPT says an in-ground pool costs anywhere between $10,000 to $50,000 on average. If you have this article, then odds are that ChatGPT is going to cite you as the resource where they got the information from. Now, if the person is going to ask, where can I get one for myself? Or where can I buy one? Then you will be much likelier to show up as a recommendation on ChatGPT if you have the content. Also, this content, because from those articles, you will link to your product and collection pages. Those collection and product pages will have much higher odds of ranking high on AI and results as well. So overall, our SEO resource allocation was around 50% went into backlinks. Backlinks is usually the most expensive part of SEO and AI optimization as well. Then the next part went into content. 25% of our resource went into content optimization, optimizing existing pages, writing new pages, making sure they're optimized, and writing blog articles. 5% went into technical SEO. So we did a full technical SEO analysis, fixed some issues, and then kept doing it once every quarter to make sure everything is intact, everything is in order. And the last part was analysis and research. Yes, there's a sort of mistake here, but anyway, analysis and research, about 20%. So this is just our SEO strategy's time to figure out what's going on, to find the keywords, to find what the competitors are doing, and then to delegate the work to our content team, to our backlink team, measure results, see how's it going, adjust our strategy, and keep doing more work, analyzing, rinsing, and repeating, just basically progressing upwards and upwards. And this all led to the results I showed above. So from 1K to way higher results. And the main lessons learned here are that category pages are still the main pages where the money is sitting at for most e-com stores. So if you think about hot tubs, there's 103,000 people every month in the United States alone searching for hot tub or this particular keyword. If you add S to it, there's another 20, 30,000. Basically, there are millions of people searching for hot tubs. And if you look at one of the top rankers, they are ranking in the 3rd or 4th position on Google, jacuzzi.com. Their hot tubs page, just the hot tubs page, is getting 14,200 visitors every month. If you think about how much hot tubs cost, it's worth a lot of money for them to rank here. And they're ranking here, with a collection page. So the lesson number 2 is that SEO can compound tremendously, but only for the entrepreneurs that are willing to play the long game. So if you remember the graph from above, even if the client would stop investing into SEO, stop doing all SEO, the results would still conservatively compound and continue to grow and increase. And think about the increase in their business value. But again, it all started from the first step, which was the niche potential analysis of their store. It's not just an SEO potential, it's also an AI traffic potential analysis of their store. And it's a simple analysis that we do. We have to do it before knowing that is SEO even worth doing. We offer 20 of these per month for free. And what it will answer is that is SEO and AI optimization worth even doing in your particular niche? What's the potential annual revenue that you could gain? We look at your competitors. You type in your URL, we look at your competitors, see how much traffic they're getting, what are the top players getting, how much revenue, how much company value, how much business value it generates for them or has added for them. And then we can know what's the potential company value growth from doing SEO for your business as well. These are the main things that we look at. This is super important because from there we can reverse engineer, is SEO actually worth doing? Let's say we were to invest like $3,000 a month, $2,500 a month into SEO for 6 months, 12 months. what's the ROI? Is it actually worth doing? Is it better than paid ads? It has to be, because it's high risk, meaning that you have to invest for longer. Although if you do paid ads, if you've been doing paid ads, you probably didn't get it to work from the get-go. You probably needed to do a lot of work. You need to adjust and pivot until you got it working. So paid ads is not that easy either. And generating 10-to-1 ROI from paid ads, good luck. It's really hard. But with SEO, it's definitely doable, especially if you consider the company value growth that you're achieving. So you can request it if you're interested to redpad.agency/audit. It's also the first link in the description. And it's going to look something like this. Either me or somebody from our team is going to do it for you. It's going to be 5 to 7 minute long video, and it's going to be delivered in 1 to 2 days, business days. No follow-ups and no sales calls if you don't want to have them. So I hope this case study was valuable for you. Thank you, and best of luck in growing your store.